The goal of this video is to get you familiarized with the structure of Angular tests. Whether you write a test from scratch, or use a tool to generate the test file, Angular tests follow a pattern. First thing to note is that it uses the Jasmine Framework. Do you see the describe before each it? They're not declared anywhere, and yet the compiler doesn't complain. That's because there's a TypeScript config file that tells the compiler to assume Jasmine commands. Describe commands are used to organize your test suite. It commands are used for testing, they typically end with an expect statement. Before each commands are executed before each describe or it commands in the block. If there are two it blocks, then before each will be executed twice, once per test. Unless your project is configured otherwise, you can expect the tests to run in order. Jasmine will find the describe block, then run the contents of before each, and then the first test block. After the first block is done, the before each will run again, and finally the last test block. The component fixture is a test harness for interacting with the component and its corresponding HTML element. Here we see the component and the fixture declared for the main describe. In general, you want to minimize the global variables, but component and fixture are used so much that it makes sense not to repeat the code to get them on every test. Inside the first before each, there's configure testing module. It tells Angular how to instantiate the classes via dependency injection. Sometimes you'll see no errors schema. That basically tells Angular to ignore subcomponents and only worry about the one you want to test. The it blocks contain the statements to test the component. For example, here it's testing that Angular can instantiate our component. Let's write a test to check that our component displays the title correctly. We start with the it block. It should render the title. First thing to do is to change the title property, that way we know it's being used. Then we call fixture detect changes so Angular can update the UI. Then we grab the span element using the fixture. And finally we check if the span contains the default text. There you have it. These are the main components of an Angular test. Thank you for watching.